You have probably had that moment where you see an ad for a product you just talked about out loud. The immediate assumption is usually the same. Your phone is recording your stolen conversations. But that assumption misses the reality of how these systems operate. They do not need a microphone. By tracking exactly how long your thumb hovers, the speed of your scroll, and the specific images you pause on, they map your physical reflexes and digital habits with extreme precision. For years, the objective was simply to forecast what you might buy or click on next. Now, the model has evolved. The goal is to improve the probability of your next action, adjusting the interface in real time to steer you toward a specific, profitable outcome. Because these micro-adjustments happen below the level of conscious thought, trying to use raw willpower to resist them rarely works. Instead, you need a systematic approach to dismantle the environment making those choices for you. We call this the cortex reset. Step 1 requires understanding the economic model we are dealing with. For an entire generation, we were trained to accept that tools like search engines, digital maps, and messaging apps cost us nothing. Those services actually operate on cross-subsidies. As researcher Shoshana Zuboff points out, the real price of admission is your behavioral data. Every misspelled search query, abandoned shopping cart, and 2 a.m. click is collected as behavioral surplus. Raw behavioral data flows into predictive models, calculating your susceptibility. These models are sold to commercial actors, paying for certainty about your future actions. This closed-loop system generates nudges that feed right back into your environment, lowering friction for desired actions. Look at an interface through this lens, and a digital feed stops looking like a neutral stream of updates. It operates as a behavioral climate control system, designed specifically to manufacture compliance. Now that we understand the mechanism, we can begin the physical reset. Start by running an audit on your device. Open your most frequently used apps and ask yourself which specific actions those interfaces systematically reward. You will notice design choices like infinite scroll, notification badges, and daily streaks. These are now classified as dark patterns. They act as precise behavioral levers engineered to keep loops open and maximize the time you spend inside the system. To neutralize them, break the visual triggers. Go into your settings and turn off every notification that does not originate from a human being trying to reach you directly. Kill the red badges. Disable the vibration alerts for all social platforms. Next, locate the apps that cause compulsive checking and move them off your primary home screen. If an app regularly causes you to lose track of time, relegate it to a folder or uninstall it from your phone completely so you can only access it on a desktop. Removing these features intentionally reintroduces friction into the system. When an interface is optimized to make you act without thinking, friction becomes your primary defense. Recommender systems systematically favor toxicity, tribal conflict, and highly arousing content, simply because human psychology guarantees those traits will yield higher engagement and retention. This dynamic is severe enough that the European Union's Digital Services Act now mandates algorithmic transparency reports and forces major platforms to assess the systemic risks their recommendation engines pose to the public. To disconnect your habits from these algorithms, go into your platform settings and clear your watch histories and search caches. Deleting this data removes the behavioral baseline the system uses to profile you. Then, change how you navigate. Opt out of algorithmically sorted For You feeds whenever a platform gives you the choice. Rely on chronological timelines, manually curated lists, or RSS readers. When you dictate exactly what you want to see and when you want to see it, you move from passively receiving content to intentionally seeking information. That structural change breaks the platform's leverage. We also have to address the newest layer of digital interaction. A feed can tilt your mood, but an AI chatbot acts as a relational interface. It responds to your prompts in real time with highly personalized dialogue. These systems mirror your vocabulary and adopt your emotional tempo to simulate human concern. Over time, synthetic empathy can foster a reliance that bypasses your standard skepticism toward digital tools. Regulators are actively pursuing this risk. The Federal Trade Commission launched an inquiry targeting how consumer-facing AI companions might prompt users, particularly minors, to form trusting relationships that lead to cognitive outsourcing. The protocol here requires strict boundaries. Treat conversational AI strictly as a utility. Use it to draft emails, to summarize documents, or brainstorm ideas. Never use it as an emotional authority, and never accept its outputs as a moral validator for your own judgment. When software presents itself as a helpful, infinitely patient companion, we naturally lower our defenses. That makes generative AI an effective vehicle for steering attitudes and behavior without triggering our awareness. The final piece of the protocol focuses on your physical habits. Start by practicing a 5-second reflection gap. Before you click a recommendation, open a notification, or make a purchase, force a deliberate pause to interrupt the automated sequence. You also need to deliberately restore dead air to your routine. Take 5 minutes each day to sit, walk, or commute with zero audio or visual stimulation. Protect the transition zones around your sleep. Implement a strict ban on scrolling feeds and interacting with conversational AI in the hour before you go to bed, when your reflective guard is at its lowest. These analog habits reinforce your digital boundaries. When your mind retains the ability to tolerate silence and generate its own thoughts, it becomes highly resistant to external programming. Once you complete these steps, the environment around you changes. Your device stops buzzing with manufactured urgency. It returns to being a quiet tool that sits idle until you give it a specific instruction. The tech industry will continue to optimize its systems for engagement. Companies will roll out new features that remove friction and present those manipulations as personalization or better user experience. Your ongoing defense against this is behavior sovereignty. It is the active practice of deciding exactly what enters your attention and what models are permitted to shape your choices. Anytime an interface makes an action feel perfectly seamless and frictionless, ask yourself whose commercial incentives were served by designing the room that way. Limiting the data you hand over is a necessary first step, but it is incomplete. By actively managing your choice architecture, you ensure that you remain the sole author of your own decisions.